Are we live? Okay, so the computer just crashed. I'm getting Minecraft back open and everything else. It's just everything is fighting for the internet to reconnect, like Steam and Mixer and all that. So, we are going to get Minecraft open and... Man, okay. While we do that, let's open up some other stuff on the other piece. I need to verify my December patron... Well, they've already paid, actually. I need to get my list of patrons so that I can dedicate today's poem properly, because we're going to have a poem at the end of the episode, so I might as well do that while Minecraft opens. Here we are. Here's Minecraft. Minecraft, can you open to the right size? Thank you. Oh, too big. Wrong size. Right size. Better. Good. Okay, you guys seeing me now? Team Snow Day is TSD. Okay. So December, cool. And we're gonna get the poem out so we have it ready for later. There we go. Okay. You guys can you see me? You might have to reboot. Tell people in the chat to reboot if they, or not reboot, reopen the browser window if they can't see me. Yeah, sorry, sometimes interrupting this has negative externalities, like requiring people to reopen their chat or browser. Sorry. Okay. So, thank you, King Style Toast, for passing that along. Okay, let's get in and play some Minecraft. Yeah, Razor Synapse, I don't care if you have an update. You're probably the reason I crashed. I crashed as soon as I moved my mouse, so I don't know. You're probably terrible. Let's just hop right in. Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to start this episode? Okay. Hey, thank you for the follow, Wolverdan. Glad to have you today. Welcome, Adam Hernandez, Hamza Dean, Vitaria. Let's turn 9 today here. And let's go ahead and get another set of shears. And ditch. Okay. That's weird. I seem to have glitched into a wall. Dang it. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna have to /log out. Does that work? Leave bed. Dang it. Okay, this is not a good stream from a technical standpoint. We've had Minecraft fail once. We've had Windows crash another time. Gonna reopen Minecraft, see if we are still trapped in the bed. What is my opinion of the new textures? I have not used them yet. 720p arrow. Dear Minecraft, please work this time. Yay, it did. I think the problem was we were kicked out of the bed while we had the chat thing open. Okay, so start recording. Here we go. Go ahead and start this episode on a boat, because I like the boats. Who else is logged in? Impulse, okay. Hey Landon, thank you for the kind words. I'm just about to record my next YouTube video, so I won't be acknowledging the chat too much. But I know you guys are here, and I appreciate you. Okay. So let's start over here on this side of... We don't really do much on this side of the bay. Dang it, that unloaded chunk looks really ugly there. Dang it. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are back in Red Sky Bay, beneath the open sky, away from the red haze of the nether. Now, you guys have put in some good suggestions about what we want to do for Tinfoil Chefs. See, TFC to me is always Team Fortress Classic, because I grew up with Team Fortress Classic. It's one of those games that, you know, you start playing when you're a little kid, and then you keep playing it. What does this sign say? Did I put this sign here? Oh, I was going to make a sculpture there. I still am. We'll come back to that. Anyway, you know, I'm just hanging out on a boat here, thinking about all the great comments you guys have made about Tinfoil Chef's Dirty Santa or Secret Santa present. We need to make him something awesome, and I want you to keep posting good comments about that, because I have a little bit more time to work on it before Christmas, although we are running out pretty quick, so can't let that completely go undone. Anyway, I gotta say, today we're going to talk a little bit about tools. You know, I don't know if you guys work with tools at your jobs, but sometimes when you have a tool that doesn't work properly, it can be really frustrating. Like this dock. Look at this dock. This dock has one job. You're supposed to be able to walk on it with a boat next to it. Pull up your boat, then you walk on it. Well, this dock isn't a good tool. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It's got missing planks. So let's say we went up here and we said, okay, we're going to grab us some planks and we're going to finish that dock. You know, that sounds like a good idea. Well, okay, this house is maybe not the best tool because I don't really know what it's supposed to do or be, but it kind of is okay at it, so we let it get by. You know, okay, we got nether brick, we got some birchwood saplings. Man, this place is pretty empty when it comes to resources. But you know, okay, that's fine. We're just here to get a little bit of our dock complete. If we hop down there, we can just kind of safely begin planting some of these blocks in a meaningful way. Let's say we went ahead and we put a cross beam like that and a cross beam. Whoops, that's not a cross beam, and I don't have a way to break timber effectively. Whoops, we're just gonna drop that there. Is that gonna make an ugly space on the ocean? No, thank goodness. Okay, great. So anyway, we've got our little dock here, and we can place a few blocks along inside of it, and it'll roughly do, you know, what it's intended to do. It'll achieve its stated goal, and that's great. We can count on this dock to be here. Basically, fire spread's turned off on this server, so no matter what, from now on, if we need to pull up a boat, let's just practice. Let's say that I'm Joe Hills in the future, and I'm like, howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Mega, Tennessee, and I just purchased my iPhone 57, and I figured I'd come over here to this dock. I haven't been back here in about 87 years, but you know what? It's a good time to go visit this little house. And wow, look at this. This dock is in perfect working order. There's no rot, there's no mold. I just step right off, and then I'm going up these terrible stairs. Man, I should have built stairs here. I'm really bad at building things. But you know, that's a note for another day. You know, we'll come back to this in another 57 years, and with our iPhone 830s, because I'm guessing that they're going to start accelerating the numbers like Fibonacci style at a certain point, and it's just going to kind of get away from them. But anyway, you know, I could come in here and I could do that. But, like, realistically, no matter what, in this digital world, these digital blocks of this digital dock will stay here. They'll always be here, and they'll work exactly as intended once they're placed. But that is not how tools work in the digital world of, like, computers and technology as a content production tool. Like, if I open up, like, an Adobe software, there's some chance that the latest update will have broken my ability to open some sort of older files. Or like when I was trying to record earlier today, my computer rebooted once and then Minecraft crashed. And like OBS is always kind of changing its settings, so whatever my default microphone is one day might not be my default microphone the next day. And it's just kind of like, you know, how does this happen? All I want to do is my job. And why are all of these tools in, like, conflict with that aim, you know? And I don't really have a great answer for you on that. You know, speaking of tools, I should probably get a, some sort of, what do you call those things that you hit the trees with? I should get a axe at some point so I can make more sapling stairs or whatever. Wooden stairs. But it's just shocking how many of these tools that people use day to day for making the things that they need to make for work just, like, occasionally stop working. You know, in the, like, high-end server enterprise world, at least, they usually document changes to software, and there's a lot of testing and stuff like that. But, you know, with a lot of more consumer-facing stuff, it's just like, well, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Maybe your computer's going to reboot when you save a file today. Better save it 3 times. 3 different places. Who knows? Like, you know, I had a problem where, at one point my motherboard wouldn't reboot properly if there was an external hard drive plugged in. Even though it wasn't configured to boot from external hard drives or USB or anything, if it detected an external hard drive, it would just, like, crash at the BIOS screen. And I don't know. I don't want to be somebody who just sits here and complains about things without solutions. But at a certain point, you know, you kind of have to, like, wonder, like, whoa, see, why did my frame rate drop right there? It's a mystery. You kind of have to wonder, like, what are we doing? You know, if chairs failed with the same frequency that these pieces of software failed, we would have a lot of people up in arms or down on floors, very upset. But, you know, with this, it's just like, nobody knows how it works. There's electrons and wires, and there's transistors that are used as logical gates, and then we pack a lot of transistors into some sort of multi-layer substrate on top of each other using, like, some sort of laser lithography or whatever. It's a black box. Nobody knows. It's a mystery, you know. And so, like, that's okay, I guess, whatever. But, you know, if your can opener didn't work all the time, you would be pretty mad. And you probably get a new can opener. But you can't just go get a new OBS or a new motherboard. You know, all of these things are, like, too expensive or too, like, time-consuming. Because it's like, even if I got, like, for example, like, my phone is, like, 3.5 years old now, maybe. And it's really starting to, like, stutter when I try to type things. And that frustrates me. It's like, I just want to type a note. I have a poem that I wrote for the end of this episode that I was walking down the street and decided to tap in because, like, I saw something and I was like, I think that this is worth sharing. I want to share this with the world, so I'm going to type it up on my phone. That's the only writing implement I have on me right now. And just, it was a nightmare trying to open the Notes app because it's like, I start typing NOTES and it can't find the app, and I'm like, this app comes with your operating system. Why? There is no excuse for this. Like, this should be a thing that is like, you should have a pre-matched thing for your, if people type search and then the name of an app that comes with the operating system. It shouldn't have to do a full system scan to determine that there is indeed an application that is mandatorily installed. But anyway, so that was, I wanted to type a little thing, and it took way longer than it should. Interrupted my flow. I'm still kind of happy with the poem that came out of it, but, like, I don't know what it says about us as a society that we have become so fault tolerant, you know? Like, is like, I mean, at a certain point, we need to be able to route around the damage, you know? I didn't say, oh, my computer crashed, I'm not making a video today. I said, no, I'm making a video about why the computer's terrible. But, like, really, it's kind of crazy how fault-tolerant we are as a society, that we're just like, these things break all the time. They never work quite right. And that's just fine. Whoops. Like, nobody is going to do anything about it. I don't know. It's frustrating. Because I know, like, I would theoretically pay more for a phone that did not do that. But also, at the same time, it's a 3.5-year-old phone that I have not replaced because I don't have the money to replace it. So when I say I would pay more for a phone that kept working after 3.5 years, maybe there is such a phone on the market today, but I haven't bought it yet because I'm trying to stretch this phone into 4. And yeah, my motherboard is 5 years old at this point on the computer too, and I'm really hoping to stretch that into next spring because at some point I need to do some sort of fundraiser to buy new computer stuff. But like, why can't my 5-year-old motherboard just work? Why can't my 3.5-year-old phone just work? I don't know. Like, I think eventually, it's going to reach a point where, like, in the same way that families have, like, dresser drawers or, like, tables that are, like, heirlooms that we pass down, in theory, at some point, cell phones and computers could get good enough that a computer that works today could work for my grandson or granddaughter in 60 years. Like, because, if a table that was good enough 50 years ago can be good enough today, like early tables, the first tables people made, we're like 30 years into making cell phones at this point. When we were 30 years into making tables, the first tables that people produced, I'm willing to bet, only lasted a few months. I accept that, maybe a few years. So, okay, but eventually table making, or tabelmocking, I don't know if there's a verb for that, tableauing, eventually tableauing got to be such an established art that you could make a table that you could inherit and you could pass down. And maybe one day computers and laptops and stuff will get there, but they're not yet. So, I don't know, it's kind of frustrating for me, because it's like, it's an emergent technology, I should just be excited it exists. But on the other hand, it's like, we've let ourselves become, like, when tables were brand new, people weren't necessarily dependent on tables, they were a luxury. And if my Xbox didn't work half the time, which I don't even own an Xbox, because once again, money, if an Xbox didn't work half the time, it's like, well, that's a shame. But if the computer that I'm using to generate revenue to support a family doesn't work half the time, well, that's bad. That's like a plumber having a really terrible wrench, where occasionally the wrench just stops working for 3 minutes, and then the plumber has to restart their job while water sprays everywhere. That's like not professional, Like, it's, I don't know. I don't, like I said, this is an unconstructive rant. I know that we're just going to get there in time, and I need to just deal with it in the interim, but you know what, some days it's harder than others to just say everything will be okay, and then be patient. Like, I accept that everything will be okay, but I want it to be okay now. It's like when people are like, get well soon. It's like, yeah, well, but it'd be better if you got well right away. So, try that, huh? I don't know. It doesn't help. It doesn't help to tell somebody get well now. They're not going to do it. If you're lucky, they'll rest and hydrate. If I'm lucky, these industries will, continue to refine their industrial processes with better tolerances and better understanding of long-term implications of material design choice. But, that is, like, not something I want to roll the dice on. I don't know what I can do about it in the meantime. I don't have money to build a factory to make phones that'll last, 2 generations. When we talk about phones, generations are also like a 1-year cycle, not like a 30-year cycle. Like, a previous generation table would be like a table from when my parents were kids. A previous generation car would be a car from like 10 years ago. I don't know. Cars are an example, like, they're further along than tables, but not as far as, or they're further along than phones, but they're not as far as tables. But, I don't know. And, yeah, cars are another thing where, like, at the beginning, they didn't need to be that dependable because people were just like, oh, yeah, this is a neat thing to have. But once it became expected, like, oh, you have to have a car for work, it's not just you have to have a car, you have to have reliable transportation. I don't know. Where was I? So that is how I feel about technology today. That is how I feel about tools and about their role in our society. I don't know that I have much to add here. I figure I'll go ahead, though, and take some of the materials that I've gathered from our little shearing and crying session. I actually wasn't crying. I don't know if you can tell. In my voice, it becomes a lot like louder and sobbier when I'm crying. So, I don't think I usually cry in these videos. I have a really bad memory about stuff like that, though. I'm sure people are going to be like, Joe, in 15 different Hermitcraft episodes, you had complete emotional breakdowns. And I'd be like, but I'm in the middle of a different emotional breakdown right now, so I can't recall these other emotional breakdowns. You know, it's just one of those things like selective memory. That's probably not the right word for that, but whatever. So let's go ahead and just condense some of this down to make room for the carpet we're going to need. Plenty of white wool now, plenty of blue wool, plenty of light blue wool. We're going to hopefully make a big dent in this floor and not in the gas blowing us up way. See, like, when I screw stuff up in Minecraft, like when I typed /clear, or when I forgot to log out, I'm frustrated by those things, like in a, like, oh, that was a dumb thing to do way, but I'm mad at myself when these tools just fail. Maybe I should be mad at myself too for not making better tools, for not just being like, okay, you know, I'm gonna make my own operating system. That's actually not a good use of my time. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't mind when bad things happen to me because of bad things I did. I mind when arbitrary bad things happen, or even just unexpected distractions occur when I'm trying to get things done. That is, you know, and like, unexpected is kind of a loose term there, because like, if my daughter's bothering me when I'm trying to get something done, I'm kind of like, well, I expected that. She's my daughter. She's a child. Children. There's a plural of that word, guys. Use it. Children, you know, bother us while we try to work. That's just a thing that they do. That is expected behavior. And maybe I should just project that expectation of tool failure onto all of my equipment. Like, but, you know, how I can't just have a second recording computer set up and waiting. I don't know. It's just not cost effective or feasible or possible, you know. So, but I mean, I know in like, when you watch certain shows like live talk shows and stuff, the host will have 2 microphones on him, like clipped to his tie, because they know that there's a chance that one of them could fail at any time, and they might need to switch to the backup audio feed without running out in the middle of the show and swapping the mic. You know, that is just a thing that they have the budget to plan around and expect. But I don't know. Like, so yeah, just accepting the inevitability of these sorts of failures is probably good for me psychologically, but planning for them and routing around them would probably be better in the long term, in is way like productive response. But how is that all of those? Oh, there was only one in that stack. Dang it. Okay. I'm so happy about how this looks, though. Let's talk about nice things for a minute. Let's think about the sea. I love the ocean. I love lakes. Tullahoma, Tennessee, where I went to high school, had 3 lakes, and I used to love going out. We had picked up some inflatable rafts for like $20 at Walmart, and we would go out and just like lounge on the rafts and chat in the summer, and it was awesome. Just out on the lake, have a little kayak paddle to get out away from the shore and to get back to shore. That's all you need. Just want to, that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this whole bay here, is because like when things get stressful, I need to remind myself to just, you know, think about something that maybe isn't so bad and give myself a little room to breathe. So there we are. We are out here on the water with a little room to breathe. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and read that poem that I was talking about earlier, and this is brought to us today in lieu of a mid-roll ad by our Patreon sponsor, EagleFam. So thank you, EagleFam. This poem is entitled Garbage. There's an awful lot of trash in the street today. Any should be too much, but this is too much. Along gutters and spilling onto the sidewalk, and most of it seems to be dirty, used surgical gloves, discarded with clinical imprecision, fingers folded or furled where they lay, waste to our fair city. So thank you again to EagleFam for sponsoring this episode of Hermitcraft, and making it mid-roll ad-free. And thank you guys all for your wonderful suggestions so far about what to get TFC. I'm really excited to start on that build as soon as I can. So, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Stop recording. Face cam back on. Whew, okay. How are you guys doing today? Everybody good, I hope? Welcome, Love Games. Thank you for the follow, as well, Inhaled Horse, Ultra Diamond. You're a fan. I'm glad to hear it. Welcome also to Provider Woo. Thank you, Noobcraft Plays, for stopping by. Yeah, thanks for the garbage poem, Eagle Fam. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a good poem. Oh, hey, Fibro Wolf. Thank you for stopping by. I've been enjoying your streams when I join them. Fibro Wolf does some Twitch and Mixer streams about Project Ozone Pack that we do. And he's Fibro Wolf on Mixer and Twitch, too. He's pretty cool. Was I born in Tennessee? Nope, but I've lived there most of my life. My parents were actually born in New Jersey, and I was too, but I only lived there for like 9 months when I was a little baby. My dad actually has a big wood-carved state of Tennessee over the door in our house that says, that has the words New Jersey printed on it, which I always think is funny. My brother had it handmade for him. I do read the YouTube chat, Ghiblio Studios. Okay, so let's see what we want to do. Snook35 says, good, got all the presents wrapped. Yeah, I just got my my wife her present yesterday, which was a replacement wedding ring because she lost hers in the lab where she works. I think it came off of one of her gloves. I didn't check those gloves in the street for rings though, because they're different gloves probably not from where she works. I played a lot of Hermitcraft or Hermit Skies yesterday. I didn't do too much Hermitcraft yesterday. So, I kind of want to just... In some ways, it's helpful for me to just go up here and do some work on the ceiling. But in others, it's kind of like, I should just... what time is it? 12:54? Okay, well, I'm going to have to go relatively soon, but not necessarily immediately. So let's go ahead and clear out some of this up here. Oh, I don't have that going all the way up there, do I? Okay, so that's why this is still here. Okay, that makes some sense. Okay. I can wipe that out at least some. Yeah, I did 4 Hermit Skies episode recordings yesterday. Hey, thank you for the follow, Creven Poppy. Sometimes I just leave things for organic looking purposes. That's true. I do want this to look nice when it's done. I'm always worried about gas spawning up here, too. Whoops. Well, that was a good way to do that. Fiber Wolf says, loving Hermit Skies. Glad to hear it, man. Eagle Fam says, oh my goodness, I get such lag on Beam. Eagle, we actually read your poem. Well, my poem that I wrote, but the poem that you sponsored earlier. So, sorry if you missed it. Oh, whoa! I just got a huge donation from Eagle Fam as well. So, another $100, that's going to put us... We're going to have 3 ad-free Hermit Skies episodes. Wow, thank you, Eagle. That is amazing. So, yeah, I've got... Whew, that is awesome. Were you able to catch, Eagle, were you able to catch the poem that I read earlier? I can read it again if you want. I do have to go in about 5, or, well, fewer than that. A few minutes, but... Thank you so much. But that is 3 episodes, guys, that are going to be ad-free. I'm excited about that. So, making the, okay, yeah. I'm gonna warn you, Eagle Fam. It's a little bit of a garbage poem. I say that jokingly because the title is garbage. But, here we go. There's an awful lot of trash in the street today. Any should be too much, but this is too much. Along gutters and spilling onto the sidewalk. And most of it seems to be dirty, used surgical gloves, discarded with clinical imprecision. Fingers folded or furled where they lay. Waste to our fair city. So, there you go. Thank you again so much, Eagle. Sorry it's not the prettiest poem, but I had the pretty poem about my wife and the ocean last month, so I figured I need to write about things that are across the spectrum of beauty. So, yeah, thank you again so much for your donation and your continuing support of the stream. Is the setting the zombie apocalypse? No, the setting is literally I walked down the street and I think one of the surgical, like one of the medical supply companies or whatever, had like a truck full of garbage just spill into the street. Like I literally saw this, and I was just like, what? Why is there garbage everywhere? And then I was looking at it closer. I was like, why is it all surgical gloves? This is like the grossest thing. So, yeah, no, that was, you know, I like to talk. I like my poems to come from a place of truth. Joan Carl's Q says, when do you tend to write if you also don't have a lot of time to record? I end up writing a lot of my poems on my phone as I'm walking around or waiting places. Like, I'll observe something or whatever and then write it up. And so just whenever I get the chance. The more walking I do in general, the better, the more opportunities I have to write. So it's kind of good. It helps me stay healthy and also, you know, gets my mind going too. But yeah, TaxDitsy says if the gloves were garbage, then then it was a bio-waste spill. Yeah, I think it was. Like, and I'm just like, this is not okay. Like, and it was really kind of, yeah. So that was why I wrote about it, because I was just like, this is not good. I don't know. So anyway, where were we? I think we are about to wrap up this episode. Well, we already recorded the episode, but I'm actually gonna we're almost to the hour, and I've got to get back to work. Let me check real quick if there are any hermits streaming that we can raid. Dang it. Mixer.com/following does not give you a list of your followers, or people you're following. It's a list. It's a somebody's channel is named following. So that was good channel name, guy. Good channel name. Let's see. Modern Skyblock 2. Oh, here we go. False Symmetry is playing Project Ozone Light.
How have I just like managed
So we're gonna
to,
go
like,
ahead
get
and
loads of
raid
power
her.
out of just
Say
adding
howdy,
a
y'all.
couple?
JoeHillsTSD raid here.
Either something's broken downstairs or stopped working. Or maybe something stopped charging. Like, maybe this has stopped. I don't know. Maybe it was that. I don't know. No, this isn't grabbing anything. No, that's just using that.
Okay.
I chose to keep them separate this time round.
So I'm gonna post the link to that.
And that's staying.
Alrighty, say hi to Falls for me, guys.
I think we're okay.